Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, with me here, a veteran of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Nice to see you in person,
Good to see you, Bill.
The president says Congress is going to screw this up today. Will it?
No, we will not. I'm eager to hear what Prime Minister Netanyahu has to say. More importantly, I think Arkansans and most Americans are eager to hear, because Iran does pose a grave threat to the United States and to our allies like Israel. As you just said, I wrote a month ago, Iran has been killing Americans for over 3 decades. In 1983, our soldiers, our diplomats, our intelligence professionals in Beirut, at the Khobar Towers bombing in 1996, when I served in Iraq, hundreds of people were dying because of Iranian-supplied weapons. The problem with Iran is that we cannot let the Islamic Revolutionary Government obtain the world's worst weapons.
It doesn't sound to me, after reading your piece and talking to you now, that you trust this administration. Is that the case?
I don't trust Iran. I don't trust the leadership of Iran to have not just nuclear weapons, but anything like a nuclear weapons capability. I think the president has foolishly put sanctions aside when Iran was being driven to its knees. We should have continued to apply the pressure and forced Iran into the only acceptable solution, which is the complete and unconditional nuclear disarmament of that government, subject to intrusive and continuous inspections.
In the past, the president put the odds of a deal being reached no better than 50-50. And just last night, he said it's probably still more likely than not that Iran doesn't get to yes. If that's the case, what then?
Well, the president continues to give concessions to Iran to help try to reach a deal that would not only be against the interests of the United States, but all of our allies in the region. Not just Israel, but also countries like Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Turkey and UAE. I think we should have never started these negotiations. We should have increased the sanctions, and we should have used the credible threat of military force. If for some reason we don't reach a deal, then we should impose new sanctions, and the president needs to once again make it clear that the United States will use military force along with our allies if necessary to stop Iran's ayatollahs from getting nuclear weapons capability.
One thing the Prime Minister said yesterday in Washington: no one makes alliances with the weak. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, and he's correct. Weakness is provocative. No one wants to be friends with the weak. They want to be friends with the strong. Osama bin Laden said this in the 1990s. When people see a strong horse and a weak horse, they root for the strong horse. America needs to once again be the strong horse. We need to show our allies and our enemies alike that we will not accept the world's worst regimes getting the world's worst weapons.
Tom Cotton, thank you for your time today. We'll see you inside the House chamber a bit later this morning.
Thank you, Bill.
From Arkansas, the Republican senator with me.